Good morning, my friends, my followers, my awesome subscribers. Thank you very much for coming across to my wonderful platform. Yes, today's video, I am back exclusively for Instagram subscribers only. It's not going on YouTube. Now, I've told you before what I do. I'm trying to get people to come over from YouTube to this platform because, believe it or not, we are only 3 weeks away from being restricted. It's been 2 years since YouTube demonetized me. It's been 2 years since they started putting massive restrictions on my channel. It's been 2 years from when Mr. Christopher Boozy, who appeared on Harry and Meghan's Netflix show, wrote a story about me in a magazine called Rolling Stone. They went after my channel. They said that I was harassing towards a protected couple and that, restrictions were applied on my channel. As you know, I have 154,000 subscribers over on YouTube. I should have got my 100,000 plaque, but I didn't get it, did I? They refused to give it to me. Last year was September, my first good month earning money on YouTube. My first good month. I think it was around about the 15th or 16th of September, and I had already earned about $5,000 on YouTube. And they decided that they were going to keep that money. They didn't pay me. They put restrictions on, and they decided they were going to try and remove me from the platform. I kept receiving email after email from YouTube, the copyright, misinformation, this, and I'm like, what? How can someone at YouTube, who's a human reviewer, say that I'm giving out misinformation about the operational tour in Afghanistan that I was deployed on, and I told people exactly what happened when he wasn't there? So there we go. Anyway, I will let them know that my video today is going up on this platform, and hopefully we can get more people across to here. And the reason why I'm doing it is this. I'm currently under a 30-day review on YouTube. Well, which was up on the 27th of July, believe it or not. So we're now in the about day 34, 35 of a 30-day review for the 8th time in a row. And I do believe, hand on heart, that YouTube are going to ban me because the truthful is because of Prince Harry. No other reason, because of that little ginger prick. He doesn't want anyone knowing what happened in Afghanistan. He doesn't want people finding out who... Trevor Colt knows the guys that used to give me personal protection, doesn't he? Yes, he does. Oh, God. Well, we can't let that ever get out. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. So I'm here today. There's loads going on. And I'm finding is social media is winding me up these days. It shouldn't, but it does. Simple things where people comment. I don't mind people commenting. Let me get that across to you. Let's look at Instagram. Look at this. There's nothing worse than putting out a comment on maybe an article you've read and going, well, I don't agree with this, or I do agree, this is great. And people respond to your comment. This is true. People respond to things I put out. And they ask questions. Well, how do you know that? And whenever you respond to them, it then comes up and says, this person doesn't like to be tagged. You cannot message this person. And I'm like, why are these dickheads commenting? And then on their own settings, they don't allow you to answer. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I do it once, then I just block them. I just couldn't be arsed with their shit. I just block them. Social media, I think Mike Tyson said, social media has made people very, very comfortable with disrespecting people without getting a punch in the face. And that's how social media is. Yeah. Wow. Social media gives presence to people that don't deserve it. Non-entities. Anyway, let's get back to things. Right. The Olympics. Yes. Now, I spoke to a previous world champion, and I think many of you know that I know her. I'm not going to mention her name. I spoke to her a while ago about what's happening in female sports. The fact that biological men are entering female sports, and I disagreed with it. And she said to me, Trevor, this is down, when it's the Olympics, this is specifically down to Lord Sebastian Coe. Lord Sebastian Coe is weak. He's a disgrace. He doesn't protect women's sports. So there we go. That's why it's happening in the Olympics. In fact, was it yesterday? A female boxer quit after 46 seconds. She went, no, and she dropped to her knees. She went, "This is unfair." She was struggling to breathe. They had put a biological man in to fight her, and he was punching the face off her to such a stage it was dangerous, and she stopped. She quit. Now, that has had a massive backlash because the guy, sorry, shouldn't have said guy, and her opponent had previously been banned from the World Championships. Her opponent had he had previously been banned from the World Championships. He had previously failed 2 gender tests for women's sport, but the Olympic Committee let him in to fight. Now, it's been condemned. In fact, UN Women's, is it refuge? Not refuge. Let me get this right here. UN Women's Welfare have spoken out in disgust that the Olympics let this man in a ring with a female. He doesn't even look like a female. Well, because he's not, is he? The Italian Prime Minister has spoken out saying it was a disgrace that this took place. I mean, even Northern Ireland champion in the past, Barry McGuigan. I mean, Jake Paul. I mean, everyone in the world is outraged that they let this biological man in a boxing ring with a female. This is a danger to females. It's a danger. Why can't we see this? It's a danger to females. She could have been killed in the... It's not going to change until a female is killed in the ring by a biological male, and then it'll be... Someone will go, "Well, I only passed on. It was historic, and I..." Someone needs to be held accountable. And at the minute, the person to be held accountable is Lord Sebastian Coe, who's the president of the Olympic Committee. He is a disgrace. It's not just my opinion, it's many people's opinions. Yeah. Right, what else is happening? Well, Hugh Edwards, the disgraced BBC journalist, world renowned for his deliverance of the Queen's funeral and the Queen's death, and disgraced in it. Well, guess what, people? Yes, we were waiting for it. We were waiting for it. The mental health card's being played. Well, we didn't want to release information into the public domain, because we thought it would be detrimental towards Hugh Edwards' mental health. Bullshit. What about them? Isn't it weird that these adults always playing the mental health in it? Playing the mental health card, but they don't think of the mental health of the kids, do they? No. In fact, Hugh Edwards knew that an individual was skint and hard up, so he was offering £2,000 a go for naked pictures of him. I mean, what a disgusting, vile monster, eh? If anything, do you know what? Children always are the he's not a victim, he's a monster. The children are the victims. They are victims. I, as a parent of one of those children, should, hopefully they do, sue the BBC. Sue the BBC for millions. Take away Gary Lineker's wages. Take away them all. I mean, the guy's getting £40,000 pay rise, didn't he? Hugh Edwards, I believe he's on £450,000 a year. Yeah. Let's take away his pension. Let's give that to the children. Vile. The BBC does need defunded, and I think this hopefully will reignite that call to defund it. It should be subscription, shouldn't it? Shouldn't be forced on people. It's nasty. Wow. That's doesn't bear to think about. Anyway, the thing which has ignited Britain, let's talk about Southport, but let's not talk about what happened in Southport. Let's talk about the fallout. Now, I said many videos ago, and I've had loads of video chats, by the way, with different YouTubers, and yes, and it was, well, the police won't release his name. I stated from day one, the police need to release his name. Labour wanted to bring in voting for under 16-year-olds. You can join the army at 17. And by the way, if you join the army at 17 and you mess up out, say, on a Friday night, you're out on the piss and you break something, I can tell you now, the local media will release your name because you're a serving soldier and you're only 17. Just want to point that out. Many, many years ago, they named the children in the Jamie Bulger case. Do you remember that? They were all named. Tariff animals and all the rest of that shit. It was okay to name them then, but they didn't do it this time. And the police messed up. The police messed up because the fact is, because the police wouldn't release the name of this child, conspiracies went galore all over the internet. Everyone blaming a mosque, everyone blaming someone that it wasn't. people blaming the Muslim community, and it kicked off. It ignited hatred in the country because it was the tipping point. It was the tipping point. Right, we'll take the law into your own hands. And you know what? All that damage and all that cause, and I will point this out now because I now know the facts. None of that rioting in Southport was done by people that live in Southport. Originally, the paper said it was the EDL. It wasn't. People said the EDL was disbanded. And I brought out a great saying from Belfast, which is, we haven't gone away, you know. I'd just like to point out something. For many, many years, you had the EDL. The EDL was disbanded. Not by the police, by the government, by members of the EDL. They got rid of it. Tommy Robinson started them off many years ago. I believe, don't attack, so I'll just fucking block you. I believe Tommy Robinson moved away from the EDL because even he said it was becoming far right and he wanted to detach himself. Okay? I'm just saying, if I'm wrong, just say, Trevor, you're wrong, because don't say, Trevor, you're wrong, fuck. I don't need that shit, okay? I'm just saying the facts as I know them. So there we go. So I did a little bit of digging in, and the one thing, right, I'm going to point this out. The rioting was not EDL. That's a fact. I know who it was. However, for people to say the EDL don't exist anymore, I can tell you now, because I know from a place, a country where I'm brought up, where there's still hatred embedded into many different housing estates. There is. It's hidden. It's suppressed. But there is hatred still there in Northern Ireland amongst different communities. Not amongst the Protestant and the Catholic communities, no. But it's amongst the Republican and the Loyalist communities. And that's a fact. It's still there. They just don't do it now. But I tell you what, Northern Ireland will always be a tinderbox waiting to kick off. At the minute, and I can point this out because I did receive a message about this, tomorrow in Northern Ireland, right about from 11:30 to about 3, the country's going to come to a standstill because Catholics and Protestants are uniting. They are uniting. They're shutting down all different places because they've had enough of other religions coming in and trying to have their dominance. I can tell you now, people, another religion entering Northern Ireland is not going to replace Catholic or Protestant. In fact, Catholic and Protestant will unite to remove another religion. That's what they'll do. And I'll tell you now, Northern Ireland is, what I will say, the centre of excellence for rioting. The police in Northern Ireland, they're not as good as the RUC used to be at rioting, or should I say riot control, because the RUC were the best police force on the planet for riot control. They knew how to do it. It was day in, day out. It was second nature. Do you know what I found watching the things on TV? How incompetent the English police are. The English police force are totally incompetent at riot control. I mean, come on. Let's go back to the army days, Trev. Would you turn up to hold a shield with a visor in a short sleeved shirt? A petrol bomb will completely take that arm away. And I don't mean cut it off, I mean burn it. What type of a police force turns up to hold shields on a baseline in white short sleeved shirts? You're meant to wear full sleeves, Velcro around the cuffs, gloves. How are you protecting yourself? The police forces are putting their officers into a really dangerous environment and not fully protecting them. No wonder so many were injured. They weren't even wearing protective gear. A flak jacket and a white shirt with a shield will not protect you. You're going to go down. There's going to be hundreds of officers injured because of the incompetence of the English police commanders, chief constables. Have they got there through professionalism and work? No. Or have they got there through box ticking? That's what you got to ask yourself. It's shocking. There's a guy who comments on here, I won't give you his real name. Guy comes here, ex-RUC officer, Royal Ulster Constabulary. He has done this day and date for years, and he's sitting back watching this on TV saying, Trevor, it's a disgrace. The police don't know what they're doing. Right. So, I did say a few days ago, I do believe that they need to release the name of the individual that did these heinous murders, because the conspiracies are going mad, mosques are being attacked, it needs to stop. Hence, they eventually did release it. Even the judge said, I'm going to release it. The judge had to release the name because he wanted the conspiracies and the rioting and the safety of members of the public fixed. Okay, so the name's out. And it turns out that the guy that did it is not a Muslim. No. Turns out he was born in Wales to a Rwandan family who came here. And he was a little choir boy. So what they need to work out now is go through all his social media and find out what made him snap. Who planted the seeds in his head for him to do this heinous crime? That's what we need to get to the bottom of. And by the way, it was buses of people, someone may tell me off now, but I did receive a message. Is it Kirkdale? I think Kirkdale's in Liverpool. Buses of grown men from Kirkdale and different areas around there were being bussed into different places to carry out rioting. There we go. Wow. This is a long one this morning, isn't it, people? Yeah. Right. What else was happening? Harry and Meghan are going to Colombia. What? What? They've been invited? Oh, yeah. The vice president of Colombia has invited them to Colombia. They're going to Colombia. But isn't Colombia like one of the capitals of kidnapping in the world? Dangerous? Murders? Rape? Kidnapping? Yes, Trevor, it is. Oh, why would they go there? I thought they thought their security was important. Oh, it is. Oh, but I thought Harry's going through courts to get security to come to England. He is. But he's not getting security to go to Colombia. Oh, he'll have a couple of people. I mean, isn't this just a slap in the face for everyone? I mean, the UK judges should look at this case now and go, Harry, you are a complete knobhead. You are going to Colombia with a fifth of the security that you need to come to England. Wow. Wow. Could you want to know what it's about, people? It's not about security. It's not about security. It's about photographs. It's about publicity. The whole thing's about publicity. It's not about security. He wants to be seen in the UK with people around him. They make him look important. So when he's snapped every 5 seconds, it's like, guard, guard, guard. It's a personal thing, persona. He wants to be put on a pedestal. He won't need that in Colombia because no one knows him. It's all about that. Anyway, listen, I'm going to shoot on. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who continues to leave reviews. I do appreciate it. And if you haven't left a review, why not? It's free. Have a great day, people. And remember, stay safe.